Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to dive into two small but super powerful grammar points in Japanese that will seriously level up how natural you sound. Ka do ka and kai. One's going to help you express uncertainty just like a native speaker, and the other will make your casual questions sound way more friendly. So let's get right into it and break them down. So have you ever found yourself wanting to say something like, I'm not sure whether or not I can go to the party? It's a phrase we use all the time, right? Well, Japanese has a fantastic, really neat structure just for that. And what about asking questions? Do you ever worry that you sound a little stiff? If you're trying to shake that textbook sound and just relax a bit with your friends, then this second grammar point we're covering is exactly what you've been looking for. Okay, let's jump into our first topic, how to say whether or not. To do this, we're going to get super comfortable with the phrase ka do ka. This is all about handling those moments of uncertainty. So, what exactly is ka do ka? Simple. It's the Japanese way of saying whether or not. It's your go-to tool whenever you're expressing doubt between two possibilities. Yes or no, true or false, will it happen or won't it? That kind of thing. And the best part? The grammar is incredibly simple. All you do is take the plain form of a verb or an adjective and tack on ka do ka. That's it. Let me show you what I mean. Here's a classic example. 彼が来るかどうかわかりません. This just means, I don't know whether he will come or not. See? You've got the plain form verb, 来る, which means to come, and it's followed by our phrase, かどうか. That whole piece then connects to わかりません, I don't know, which is where the uncertainty comes from. And here's another super practical one for you. この店が開いているかどうか確認します. I will check whether this shop is open or not. You need to find something out, right? The shop is either open or it's not. And that word at the end, 確認します, to check or to confirm, is a perfect fit here. Now this is one I think a lot of us can relate to. 日本に行くかどうかまだ決めていません. I haven't decided whether to go to Japan or not. That feeling of indecision is built right into the sentence with the verb 決めていません, which means haven't decided. So the main takeaway here is that ka do ka really likes to hang out with verbs about knowing, deciding, and checking. And what's really cool is just how versatile it is. You can totally use this in a casual chat with friends, but it's also perfectly fine in formal situations or even in business emails. All right, we've got a handle on uncertainty. Now, let's switch gears and look at another way the particle ka gets used, this time to make your questions sound way more natural and informal. And this is where kai comes in. Okay, so kai is a casual question marker, but it comes with a pretty important social rule. It's mainly used by men, especially in casual settings. Think of it as a friendlier, softer alternative to the standard question particle ka. It just adds a little touch of warmth. And the structure? It is as easy as it gets. You just make your sentence and then pop ka, so zai, right on the end. Just remember to use a rising intonation, to make it sound like a question. For example, instead of the standard 今日は忙しいですか? You could ask a friend, 今日は忙しいかい? Are you busy today? See how that just immediately sounds more relaxed and familiar? Or how about this one? もう食べたかい? Have you already eaten? This is such a common, everyday kind of question, and it sounds perfectly natural when you're just chatting with someone. And this one really shows you that gentle tone. If a friend seems a bit down, you can ask, 大丈夫かい? You okay? It gets across that you're genuinely concerned, but in a really soft, caring way. Okay, now listen up because this is super important, and it's something textbooks can sometimes gloss over. Like we mentioned, kai is primarily masculine speech. You'll hear it a lot from older men or between close guy friends. Using this in a business meeting would be a pretty big mistake. The key thing to remember is that while it does make your questions sound softer, you have to be in the right social situation to pull it off. All right, now that we've looked at them one by one, let's put them side by side to really lock in the difference. This table really makes it crystal clear, doesn't it? Just look at that use column. Ka do ka is your flexible, all-purpose tool for uncertainty. It works anywhere, from a business email to a quick text. But kai, that's a specialist tool. It's only for informal, friendly chats, and yeah, mostly for guys. They might both use the sound ka, but their jobs are totally different. Okay, let's wrap this all up with the final takeaway. If you remember just two things from this whole explainer, please make it these two right here. It really just comes down to these two simple rules. First, whenever you need to talk about whether or not something is happening, you're going to use ka do ka. And second, when you want to ask a casual question and sound friendly and natural, use kai. But just remember that social context we talked about. So there you have it. The only question left is, where are you going to try using these in your own Japanese conversations? I really hope you give it a shot. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.